These aren't available quite yet for everybody. However, if you are a Nike member, which is free, so if you are not one, I suggest going and signing up for the app. But they are available right now on Members Access. If you like cushion, man, this might be the shoe for you. Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. This is the Nike Zoom GT Jump 2s, so the second version of the GT series, or one of. They totally switched up. I don't know if you know this. We were talking about it in like the team chat, but there is the GT Cut 1 and 2, and then there's the GT Jump 1 and 2, and then in between that there was the GT Run, and they switched its name out of nowhere. And
probably because so many people were like, it's a running shoe.
That's exactly why they did it, which is so funny to me because it's like basketball players know what they meant. So I don't know how there was confusion there. But I don't even remember what they changed the shoe's name to, but it's the second version, even though there wasn't a first version because technically it was named something else. So yeah, I just thought it was funny. Fun fact, whenever those shoes come out. But anyways, like I was saying, this is the Nike Air Zoom Jump GT2. These things have tons of cushion in there, just like the first one, and dare I say, maybe a little bit more. Excellent. So first things first, the traction looks awesome, just like the originals. The originals had herringbone, these guys don't, but they said on Nike's app is that this was a data-driven pattern. At this point, I don't like that phrase. I know what it means, I understand what it means, but it's like, yo, like there's so much data-driven patterns, and you'd think that if it was data-driven, it would all be the same, but it's not, because everybody's foot strikes differently. That's why herringbone and radial patterns are the best, because they are multi-directional by nature. So it doesn't matter what your foot strikes are, those are the best options to use. Does that mean that this is not going to work well? Not at all. It's probably going to work just fine. The only thing that I would be concerned about is their rubber. It's clear. Nike doesn't have the best outsoles when it comes to clear rubber. They have great solid rubber options. However, Puma is the opposite. Their solid rubber sometimes sucks, but their clear rubber is amazing.
I guarantee it.
The cushion is interesting because there's just multiple layers. They've added some, and I just think that it looks like it will be really comfortable. It feels super comfortable on foot. It also looks like a running shoe, you know what I mean? Like a platform. So I thought that that was really interesting. I said this before with many shoes like the Currys and stuff like that, but like it feels like nowadays they're really starting to blur the lines between product categories. You know what I mean? Like you can use tennis shoes on a basketball court because it's almost the same stuff. A lot of volleyball players use basketball shoes and so on and so forth. It's like all of the same kind of movements across all of these categories. The one that you would think would be drastically different is running, but even then they're instilling a lot of running elements into basketball shoes nowadays, because I don't know if you noticed this, but you run a lot when you're on a basketball court. The difference though is that they need a lot of stability as well, because you're implementing running along with speed changes and directional changes. So that's where something like this, I do feel so far that it is like a better version of the original. Will it actually be better than the original? That only time will tell. So what we have here is a Phylon midsole, which is basically that top platform that you see. Right underneath that in the heel, there's actually a wedge of React. That's like super interesting to me because the way that they've implemented it here, it almost looks like a shock, like just like a giant shock column of React. Sounds awesome, by the way. And then in the forefoot, we have Zoom pods. The Zoom pods that were missing in the Giannis 5s are in this guy right here. So if you really love that cushion in the Giannis, you know, line and things like that, then you probably want to move over to the GT Jump 2s. However, the things that I really like that they've done here is that they've added this stability plate throughout the entire thing, not just the forefoot, but also the heel. It almost looks like it starts right here at the heel and then curls around and all the way through. Then it wraps up around these AirPod units so that there's no instability issues laterally. So in theory, if you are a quicker player that just happens to want lots of cushion, this should be able to handle you, hopefully. And yes, that's what she said, huh? I am wondering what that plate is made out of. It didn't say anything at all on Nike's website. Another surprise. There's no tech info inside the box or anything like that. It's really annoying when Nike does all of this, and I'm not talking about Nike, I'm talking about like the design team. They do all of this stuff, and then the brand is like, they don't need to know. It's just 180 bucks. Why do they need to know stuff? Inside the shoe, there's full-length zoom strobel, Phylon, React, 2 giant zoom pods underneath the forefoot. If that doesn't sound awesome, I don't know what does. This is the insole, by the way. It's very interesting. I don't know what this blue stuff is. But all I know is that this back half is very Kobe 6-ish, and then they use this in a lot of the more modern KD, starting with the 12s. This stuff will actually mold to your foot the longer that you wear it, which is awesome. That's where this stuff, it's like a lot softer. So I'm just wondering if that's supposed to mold to your foot quicker. The upper is really interesting. The product description on the landing page states that it's engineered mesh. I've never seen engineered mesh look quite like this. It almost looks like a mixture between engineered mesh and lino weave. Plus it's a lot of plastic in there and stuff too, like plastic yarns. Very lightweight, very breathable, should break in very quickly as well. So if all of that stuff sounds awesome, because it is. A couple of extra stability features that are actually in the eye stay area, or where the eyelets are, would be right here at the forefoot. We got a little nylon strip on both sides. They actually V down. You can kind of see them a little bit through the upper. And so those are going to tie you down to the footbed. And right underneath that is that plastic chassis for the zoom pods and everything. So essentially this whole forefoot section is just really stable and everything. This back section is really interesting though, because we have a TPU collar. It's like very strange. It reminds me a little bit of the Nike LeBron 8s and the Nike LeBron 9s, where you had kind of like the lockdown wings or straps, one of which was embedded with fly wire, the other one was just kind of like independent. This one's not independent, it's fused to the upper and everything, and then outside of it we actually have these like little bubbles that are just, I don't know why, but I like these. They're dumb, but like they look cool, you know what I mean? And they feel good. This thing is just neat looking, man. It reminds me of the Air Jordan 6 a little bit, you know what I mean? It also reminds me of one of my favorite shoes from Nike basketball, the Air Flight Turbulence. Who remembers these bad boys? But this tongue right here looked just like this shit, man, with the little rubber in the hole. The only difference is that they got a little nylon strand in throughout. I wish that wasn't there, because I think it would have been a really cool callback, whether that was purposefully done or not. It just would have been dope. And then right here in the rear, the entire like heel sculpt inside of the shoe, like all the padding and sculpting that's in there, it feels amazing on foot. I will say that when you put them on, they do fit true to size. They're a little snug, but I don't think that that's going to be necessarily a bad thing, since you're going to be riding high on this giant platform underneath your foot. So I think that having a slightly tighter fit might be more beneficial. Again, a little bit different than the last version where they felt a little bit loose. I felt like they could have been a little bit tighter, especially with how high off the ground and how springy you felt. That's actually something that would be a good comparison, by the way, is that these feel less springy than the originals, but they definitely feel more stable. So with that being said, let us know what you think about these down below in the comment section. Are you interested in a pair? Are you not? Like I was saying earlier, they are available right now on the Nike app via member access. It's a free thing to do, so if you just want to sign up, like some of this stuff is available like a few days early, and then you can do one-day shipping and they'll ship it to you. Nike's got a great return policy. You can wear the shoes, try them for up to 60 days. If you don't like them for whatever reason, return them. It's awesome. And no, this is not a promo or a plug for Nike. F those guys. So with all that being said, thank you so much for being here. We will catch y'all on the next one. Until then, have a good one. Oh, and guess what? There's only a few of these shirts available left. Let me see how many. Okay, so we only have 26 available of these guys left. So once those are gone, they are gone. If you're interested, sinsapparel.com is where you can find them.
The end.
Yes, I am sweating from the backside of my head, and probably the other backside, but you know, Sacramento, man. Good old devil's butthole.